I'm Bob Bindschadler. I work for NASA studying the poles from space. We've just published the first ever true color map of Antarctica made from Landsat images. But this winter I was actually down on the ice in Antarctica. Ice shelf. This is it. With a small team, I set foot on the Pine Island Glacier, a place no human has ever visited before. So we're in a spot and we've got a field campaign. This is the most active glacier anywhere in Antarctica. What happens here will affect sea levels everywhere on Earth. This is the story of our adventures, why we went to Pine Island, and what went right and wrong. Our journey really begins in Christchurch, New Zealand. This is where NSF distributes extreme cold weather gear to all participants in America's Antarctic Research Program.
No, not the boots I want, but I'll get them.
We try on every item. Something that doesn't fit will bring discomfort or even danger in the field. This is exciting though. This is going to a new place. That makes it, it's the challenge as much as anything that adds some spice to each trip.
This is also, if you have no money in McMurdo and you need to get some quick cash, you can rob a bank. There's a good chance they'll find you.
My companion is David Holland, an oceanographer and computer modeler from NYU.
Hi, Mom. I commute between New York City and Pine Island Glacier every day. It's a very difficult commute, but I work here and I live in New York City, so I have no choice. I sit down here and I work really hard. I'm one hell of a dedicated worker.
We're pretty lucky. No weather delays. Next day, we're off.
As they approach each other, we have to shut you down.
Satellites show us that the Pine Island Glacier, we call it PIG for short, is thinning rapidly, and that its ice is moving unusually fast, 10 meters per day, more than 1 foot an hour. So what? Well, ice that used to be on land dumped into the ocean causes sea level around the world to rise. A 1 meter rise in sea level will cost the world economy an estimated $1 trillion. That's serious money. We could manage that risk better if we knew how much and how fast sea level will change. The PIG drains a part of the West Antarctic ice sheet that could raise sea level 1 meter all by itself. About 3.5 hours into the flight, you get your first views of Antarctica. Spectacular, never inhabited. The only continent on Earth dedicated by international treaty to peaceful scientific exploration. McMurdo Station on Ross Island is America's main logistics hub. We spend a busy week here making final preparations. At the Berg Field Center, we check out camping gear and cooking supplies. We collect food. The recommendation is to eat 5,000 calories a day. Hey, we'll go with that. I've been to Antarctica 15 times before, but this is David's first visit. He has to go through survival training, nicknamed Happy Camper School.
There's 3 of us in here tonight. It's going to be cozy.
They learn to put up mountain tents and build walls out of snow blocks to protect against gale force winds.
This is survival school, part 1 of training for getting ready to go to Pine Island. It's actually a lot of fun to do this Happy Camper School, meet lots of fun people, and learn lots of good skills.
Hey David, I found your wig on my sleeping bag.
Ah, thank you.
I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
Both of us complete a special course on crevasse safety and rescue.
You're the mountaineer, I thought we just kind of sit like this and pulled out.
You're gonna grab that from me, and I'm gonna grab this from you. And I'm also gonna clip that in.
The ice of our target glacier is moving so fast that huge stresses fracture the ice, causing giant cracks called crevasses, tens of meters across, hundreds of meters long, deep enough to kill you. We think crevasses will be the biggest danger we'll face. Our training started out in decent weather. Then, in an instant, blowing snow. Antarctica is that kind of place. McMurdo in the southern summer is home to more than 1,000 people. Folks miss friends and family, especially at holidays. That makes traditions all the more important. Antarctica has some rituals all its own. New Year's Day brings a rock festival known as Ice Stock. It's also the day we leave for the deep field. We're now a party of 4, joined by Galen Dawson, a mountaineer whose job is to keep us safe, and cameraman Cliff Light, also an experienced climber and guide. This time it's a turboprop LC-130, a ski-equipped Hercules aircraft, able to land on ice while carrying heavy loads.
These are the towers for the weather station. These are our own towers. We'll put several sections together and create a tower about 14 feet high. And we'll be doing just basic meteorology on the Pine Island ice shelf to get a sense of the weather conditions there.
Our next stop is the WAIS Divide Camp, set up to support drilling a deep ice core.
And 1,000 miles from McMurdo, still 400 miles to go. Get our tents up later this afternoon and get our gear organized and be ready to go the next step with the otter, and then start praying for good weather.
WAIS Camp is more than 50 people, but we're headed off to completely unexplored territory.
2 ice sheets diverged, and we took the one less traveled. Robert Frost. That's why we're here, because it's less traveled.
WAIS Divide has perhaps the worst weather on the continent. There's snow, high winds, or whiteouts 2 days out of 3. That's actually very good for the drillers. Lots of snow means lots of layers, extending thousands of meters down below today's surface, an archive of Earth's ancient atmosphere. But our mission is to capture data from the Pine Island Glacier that will let us look ahead, not back, and predict Earth's future. It's ironic that researchers have to come to places like this to answer questions posed in comfortable meeting rooms back home. The most recent report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, identified Earth's changing ice sheets as the biggest unknown. They stated flow rates could increase or decrease in the future, and that larger values cannot be excluded.
So a natural question is, how does carrying out science here near Pine Island fit into the bigger picture of the IPCC report?
One of the major questions that they say is still unanswered is what's going to happen to sea level in the future? That's the question that brings us down here this season. That's the reason we're going out to the Pine Island Glacier ice shelf, because it's that area that satellite observations have told us is changing most rapidly.
Basically, we're here and other people around the planet, scientists, are carrying out research to try to get a handle on whether or not there really is a threat of sea level change by melting of large ice sheets into the ocean.
We feel it's the keystone to ice sheet stability. If the ice sheet's going to thin a lot very dramatically down here, we believe that's the area where it's going to happen. So we need to get there and understand and measure the processes going on right there.
January 2nd, we review our route with the pilots who will take us to our final destination. We hope for good weather.